Thank you very much. I will just start by asking a couple of questions to you guys. So the first question I'm going to ask you is, how many of you are involved in some sort of marketing agency or marketing task? Raise your hands, please. Which is pretty much everyone. That's perfect. The other question I'm going to ask you is, how many of you have done or have experience with mobile marketing? Okay, there's a bit of potential here. How many of you have done mobile advertising? Even more potential. Interesting. Thank you. So I was invited here to talk about mobile advertising as a forgotten media, which, to be honest, I think it's a bit wrong. I think it should be the new and upcoming media, and of course I will tell you why that is. Many of you have probably seen this before. This is an analysis done by eMarketer. Has been done every year in the last 5 or 6 years, and it tells us how much time we spend on different medias, our media consumption, and it also tells us how much money is spent on the same marketing media. And as you can see, TV is basically aligned in time spent and in marketing spent, money spent. Print, we spend way too much money on print, and compared to the time the consumers spent digesting print. And when we go to mobile, it looks completely strange. Actually, more than 25%, and I think the latest numbers were actually 33% of our media consumption is now on the mobile phone or the tablet, but only worldwide it's 3 to 4% of mobile spending of digital spending goes into mobile. So there's a gap here. And we need to address that and talk about it. Basically, there's a couple of pain points here for the advertisers and also for the agencies, and I'm sure you can recognize that. There's a tendency that big brands or brands in general want to advertise on brands. They're not really thinking target group. They're not thinking how do I address my target group properly. But if we place an ad in the biggest newspaper, well, everybody will then see it. That's one of the pain points. The other pain point is that the media world is changing so fast. Consumption is changing. Mobile is the new black. Advertisers have a problem keeping up. Advertising formats are changing. There's a lack of standard formats, etc., etc. So there's a lot to learn. There's a lot to keep up with. And it's confusing generally. And finally, there's a new thing coming called programmatic, which everybody. It's a bit like as Casper said before with data, teenage sex. I usually refer to it as it's like the weather. Everybody talks about it. No one does anything about it, and that's programmatic. But it is changing. It is in a changing environment right now. So before we go into all that, I think we cracked the nut, and I will tell you about that. Who am I? I basically spent all my time since 2000 in mobile. I have done mobile campaigns, I have done content, I've done mobile internet, I've done mobile apps, I've built little landing page campaigns, and I've built very large campaigns for the big newspapers. In fact, the last few years before I joined adQuota, I built the mobile websites for Aftonbladet in Sweden, for the Independent in London, the Sun, the Washington Post. So, really, really big mobile websites with tons of traffic, and we made really, really cool stuff. The only problem was, no matter how cool we made it, they were not making any money on it. And that's why I sort of changed to adQuota and said, I want to help these guys make money on their mobile publications. adQuota, just a few words about us. adQuota is a specialist. We are a mobile SSP. We are a specialist in mobile advertising. We are in 10 countries around Europe. We also have an office here in Riga, and we are a fast-growing company within our field. That's pretty much the marketing point from my side. We represent about 400 publishers. We do 500 million monthly impressions across 200 campaigns in the 10 countries that we are in. That's sort of the level of campaigning we are doing. That's, as I said, that's as much advertising as you get from my side today. Let's have a look at the global advertising market. I had a look at it this week to get some updated numbers, and I think these numbers are tremendously interesting. So basically the numbers that I'm going to show you now is advertising spent across everything. It's TV, it's radio, it's outdoor, it's digital, it's mobile, it's everything. And as you can see, there's a tremendous amount. The numbers from 2009, where there was a recession in the world and the spending went down, it's over and done with. There's a nice growth. What's interesting about this is if we look at how much of that goes into digital. And as you can see, it's pretty much all the growth that goes into digital. All the growth that goes into digital. Basically, digital will be doubling from 2012 to 2018, whereas spending on across other medias will be pretty much the same. Even more exciting when we look at the numbers that goes into mobile, because here it is. The percentages up there is the mobile share of the total ad spend, and as you can see, pretty much all the growth in the coming years will come from mobile. That's kind of interesting. Mobile is the growing media. Desktop internet is, well, I won't claim that it's falling, but it's definitely stagnant. And all other medias are also stagnant. I come from Denmark. Denmark is a country that's not that dissimilar from Latvia. It's a small country. We are maybe a little bit ahead in digital ad spend, but apart from that, it's pretty similar. There's 4.9 million digital users, adult consumers in Denmark. And this is the amount spent in 2013, in the amount spent in mobile advertising, that is. In 2013, 2014, 2015, and as you can see, there's growth here. There's a lot of growth coming in here. And there will be in the years to come, the next years. Now, the interesting part of this is all of this is new campaigns that's floating into mobile. It's a completely new market opening up, and it's a lot of new potential there. So by 2015, 17.9% of the total ad spend and approximately 44% of digital is expected to go into mobile advertising. That's why I claim mobile advertising is not the forgotten media, it's the new and upcoming media. You can say mobile advertising, what is that? Well, it's a combination of a lot of things, to be honest. It's not all about a display ad. A huge chunk of this goes into Google's pockets. Basically, 41% of all ad spending on mobile goes into Google, or in search at least. There are a few other players apart from Google, but Google is the dominant player. 20% goes into classified, and 32% is display or rich media ad spending. So it's a large part of the whole advertising spend, and it's interesting to look at. But let's just define what is mobile advertising. First of all, it's paid media. It's not earned. It's not owned. It's paid media. It's display advertising. Up there on the screen, we have a simple display ad in a 160 by 320 size format. and which was basically where mobile advertising started and what we did in the beginning of the advertising era. In 2012, we launched Rich Media as the first company in Europe, and since then we have been building Rich Media, and a lot of other companies have followed us. Rich Media is basically the more advanced ads like this one, where you can swipe, or it automatically swipes, and where you can do a lot of stuff with it. We also launched Rich Media with video, which is basically where you put video inside an ad, or it could be pre-roll or post-roll on mobile. Mobile advertising can involve different types of targeting. I'll get back to that in a second. It is supposed to be intelligent and engaging, and in most cases it is. But we also get click rates that are substantially higher than desktop internet. And it can involve different call to actions, and I'll also get back to that in a second. Why is mobile so powerful? Well, the obvious question, and I'm sure you've heard that a million times before, is that, well, the mobile device is always with us. You know, whether we are at work, commuting, playing golf, or in bed, we have the mobile with us. Most of us, the first thing we do when we wake up in the morning, check the emails. The last thing we do before we go to bed at night, or before we go to sleep at night, is check the emails. Some people, and there was actually an interesting survey done about this a few months back, how many people check their emails on the mobile phone before they kiss their wife good morning? You wouldn't believe it. And I thought, do I do that? It's always with us, it's always on, and it's hot and in. That's the obvious question. That's why mobile is so powerful. But there's more to it than that. We get very high engagement rates. Mobile is considered a very personal media, much more personal than desktop. And we basically, everything that comes into our phone, we check that right away. So we get engagement rates somewhere between 5 and 10 times higher than advertising on desktop. We can use rich media, obviously. We can use location-based advertising. That's only just starting, but location advertising, you mark my words, will be enormous. The fact that we can do advertising in specific areas with specific messages, we can target the message to the different area, etc., that will become a lot bigger. And finally, there's all these retargeting opportunities using the data that Kasper talked about before, and I'll get back to targeting and talk to you about that in later in this presentation. I talk a lot about rich media, and some of you may know what rich media is, some of you may not. So here's a video that basically shows a couple of samples of rich media, where we took the regular display ad and made it swipeable. That made it more fun, that made it more engaging, involving, and immediately the click rates went up. We're also doing new formats like this one that comes in from the side, stays there for a while and disappears again. We can do a store locator where when the moment you get the ad up on the screen, it tells you there's only 225 meters to the nearest store because it locates you. We can do other small formats like these that comes up in the bottom and are less intrusive. That's something that takes over the whole screen. You can click and then you can expand. Basically everything you had to have in the past, you had to have in a landing page, a mobile website. You can have inside the ad, so all the call to actions, etc., can be in the ad. Even if you collect information, you do competitions and stuff, it can also be in the ad. Yeah, you have this one, which is for curtains, where you pull it down and you see the ad and you switch it up again. You can have the interstitials. This one we did a couple of months ago for an insurance company, and I think everybody with an iPhone got a bit of a scare when they got that. Video, as I talked before, in different sizes and different formats. In this case, the video starts automatically playing when you load the page, but if you click the video, it will restart with sound. So it's a very powerful way of showing an ad. It could be either, TV advertising, or it could be a trailer for a movie or things like that. So as you can see, there's a lot of opportunities and with rich media. What we have done is, because all the opportunities are there, and you may think, this is costly. I mean, if I have to get someone to hard code this in HTML5, this will take all of my marketing budget. And you're right. So what we've done in adQuota is that we have templatized a lot of the more popular formats. So if we are to do it like a spinning cube, you send us the 4 JPEGs, we upload them straight into the banner server, and it comes out as a spinning cube. So it can be done, and it can be done a lot more intelligent and a lot more cheaper than getting someone to hard code it. I just want to show you this one. This is our latest ad format. Do we have sound on this? No. Oh, that's sound.
I'll take a picture on my phone, so I will never be alone. So don't forget to say cheese on the count of 3 when I take a selfie. When I take a selfie, I snap a moment in time, I post it up online for all the world to see, and everyone can agree. No need for scenery, photogenic you and me, and my selfie.
Yeah, so that's the selfie ad, which is one of the strong things about HTML5 is we can engage all the different functionalities of the phone. So from an HTML5 ad, either it can be in an app or in mobile web, we can engage the camera. You can use it to take a photo, and you can then, and that's the other big thing about mobile, is you can share it. You can share it on Facebook or Twitter or whatever you like. We've done a couple of campaigns with that with tremendous results, and it's a popular format. But let's just, I'm talking about, high engagement rates and how rich media is fantastic. So let me just show you a few examples. This is actually a campaign we did 2 years ago in Denmark. Irma is a supermarket chain, a co-op supermarket chain, and they just launched an app, and we ran a simple display ad for them. We ran it across a bunch of different medias, and it performed with a click rate of 2.33. I don't know how many of you have done desktop internet campaigns recently, but I bet that you're nowhere near 2.33 in click rates. The next thing we launched was interstitials, which is basically the takeover formats where it pops up and takes over the whole screen. It's very intrusive, but it's also very effective. We did a campaign like that for another co-op supermarket. We did it in a regular display ad and in an interstitial. And the interesting thing is that people who got the interstitial from the beginning were actually 30 times more likely to sign up at the end of the campaign. Actually, 50 times more willing to sign up at the end of the campaign. So that's interesting. So if you get a good experience from the beginning, you're more likely to sign up at the end of the experience. That's kind of interesting. This one was done, I think, just a month ago or 2 months ago for Stimorol, which is chewing gum. You probably know that, which is like one of the new formats where you can touch it, you can pull it up, and you got that other screen with a video in the middle. Very, very intrusive, very fun format. and with a click rate of almost 14%. So, rich media works. We get tremendously high click rates from this, the feedback also from the agency and the client was very, very good on this. Now you may claim, yeah, that's fine, that's all Danish samples. And that's right, that's all Danish samples. But I could have brought English samples, I could have brought Swedish samples, I could have brought samples from all over, because it's the same thing we see all over. But I just brought also a few Latvian samples, because you also want to see that, I think. This is a campaign we did for Air Baltic, 5.61 in interaction, in click rate. We have a campaign for Renault where you touch the screen and then you can turn the car in a 360-degree circle. So it's pretty cool, and it's fun to do. 4.6% click rate. Here's another example where we have the scratch screen, where you touch it and you unveil some kind of picture, and I think the click rate on that was 8.8%. All Latvian campaigns, and very successful campaigns. So when you do mobile, a word of warning, it has to be mobile. It has to be mobile optimized. The worst thing we get is when we get a banner campaign, we can create a cool banner, and it links to a non-optimized website, a desktop website, because the results will be horrible. Here's an example where the guys who own this is not one of our ads, I have to say, but the guys who own this, they have taken a 468 pixel wide banner, and they just downsized it for mobile. So when you see it, you can't read what it says. That's horrible. Here's another sample that is not optimized for the screen width. It looks horrible too. But here's a great example from Sony, where you get the big, nice, rich media experience. When you click it, you get a mobile optimized landing page. Obviously, the results from this are very, very good. Remember, you can have multiple call to actions in here. I think in this case, we have 4 call to actions. We have see the trailer, use the gallery, read about the movie, and there's also a Facebook like button in there, which is pretty cool. But remember, when you do this, don't be too intrusive. If you have a takeover screen, or you have something that comes up and takes over the whole screen, you have to have a visible X in the corner, top right corner, so that the users can also click the ads. Otherwise, you will annoy users, and even more, you will annoy the publishers. Finally, count everything. Now, it's a common comment I get is that mobile is great, and we can do great campaigns, and we understand that. But seriously, we cannot count it. We don't know what's happening, but we can. That's the bottom line. We can actually set up. We have a conversion tracking tool, so we can set up and measure everything that goes on in the ad, the impressions and the clicks, the swipes, etc., etc., etc. But we can also measure what goes on your mobile website. We can measure how many sees the video, how many signs up in the bottom, etc., etc. It can be done. Just ask us, and we'll tell you how we can help you with that. Call to actions. You can do a lot of call to actions in the mobile web. It's not all about click to call or click to go to a URL. It can be click to see the video, click to put an appointment into my calendar, click to sign up for test drive, for an appointment of some sort, click to sign up for competitions, click to share on, or to like on Facebook, or click to share on Facebook, Instagram, etc. Store locator, click to find the nearest store. We can do that across medias, find the nearest store, or click to get a coupon and get discount for when you buy whatever you might want to buy. So there's a lot of call to actions that can all be built in. Interesting, as you can see in that ad there, the Monster University ad, we put 4 call to actions into the same ad. Next big thing, as we heard about before from Kasper, data. We also involved a lot of data in mobile, because mobile will actually give us tremendous opportunities for targeting. There's something we can do today, and there's a few things that will come in the future. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about both. What we can do today, well, here's a list of everything we can do, but let me take it one by one. What we can do today, of course, is when you come to us and say, I have this product, my target group are young females, we will then create an ad pack for you or media plan for you with young female media, and we will run the campaign on those medias. That is an obvious way to do targeting. It's not very intelligent, but it's an obvious way, and of course we do that every single day across all markets. However, that's going to change in the future, I think. Today we can also do targeting on platform, on operating systems. So if you're Samsung and you want to sell an Android, you might not want to advertise towards Apple users. You can choose only to advertise against the Android users. Or if you are an operator, you might want to target the other operators in the market. That can also be done, also on device. We can also target on external information. We have, for example, a weather feed coming into our system. It's a standard thing. And you can run campaigns that sells smoothie from McDonald's, but only when the weather is more than 25 degrees, which is far from what it is today. You can sell winter tires, which is probably more likely when the temperature drops below 0. You can do an ad for winter tires. In this case, we have an ad for Benadryl, which is medication for allergy, that only pops up when there's a high pollen alert. Again, there's a pollen feed coming into the system. So weather control ads and any feed we can take. If you have a feed with special offers that change every hour or things like that, that can go in and we can change the advertising against that feed. Again, this is a way of doing targeting. It's a way of doing more intelligent advertising. It's a way to get more value for your advertising money. We can also do frequency control. We can set time limits. We can set limits on budgets, and we can set, there's a whole lot of things we can do. So let's say you want to do a click campaign, but you only want to spend like 500 euros a day. Or you want to say, okay, we can only handle 5 leads a day. All that can be done, and you just let us know when you book the campaign. Retargeting is something that is in the beginning. It's emerging, and on mobile at least. And again, this will be a lot bigger than it is today. We can do retargeting based on site visits. So if people have visited a site that sells cars, we can show a different ad than if they haven't visited that site. Or we can do retargeting based on previous clicks. So if you run a campaign and you want to make the sales funnel, you can have one message for people who have not visited before. If they click one time more, maybe they want to get a price list or more information. And at the end of the day, maybe you have a click to buy banner, for example. So that type of retargeting is coming, and it's big. Geo-targeting, as I said earlier, is also coming, and this will be tremendously big. Obviously, you can do retargeting based on a lot of different things. The obvious thing is to set up a point and a circle and say, okay, everybody within this area should get this ad. But we can also do it more intelligently. We can build up what's called a geo-fencing area and only show the ad if people are inside that geofence. We can either show different ads in different areas. We can show one ad if you're near a shop and another ad if you're not near a shop, etc., etc. So there's a tremendous set of opportunities for geo-targeting. And obviously we can combine this with the ad, as you saw earlier, that said nearest shop 225 meters. The ultimate targeting, and that's not available today, to be honest, but that's something we will launch in 2015. When I say we, to be honest, everybody involved in mobile marketing is working on the same thing. So we hope to be first, but everybody will offer this at the end of the day, which is basically the ultimate way of doing targeting. You want to target women aged 25, should say 25 to 35, married with 2 children, drives a Golf and a household income of whatever, who is interested in fashion and fitness. If you can want to define that as your target group, we will then, when we launch it, make it available for you so we can run the campaign across all medias, but only target these young women. We hope to be able to launch this in Q3 probably next year. That's the ultimate targeting. What's next? Well, programmatic, or which is also called real-time bidding, has been around for a while. It's fairly new on mobile. We launched it in May. In the UK, we see 15 to 20% of all mobile budgets have already moved into programmatic, especially in the performance market, but also it's coming in premium as well, and it will become bigger. For us in adQuota, I think this month it will be 7% of our revenue. So it's not tremendously big, but it's growing. And last month it was 5%. So programmatic is coming. What is programmatic? Most of you will probably know this, but it's basically tying up available inventory with available buyers, a few algorithms in between, floor prices, minimum prices, etc., etc. Then people will bid for your inventory or the inventory that's available, and if the bid is good, then they get the advertising space. Here's another, which is difficult to see, but which is basically different bids coming in, the highest bid wins and gets the advertising space. What we're doing in adQuota is combining this into our sales, so we can offer the publishers not just direct sales, but also programmatic sales. The way we do it is we tie up with a bunch of the big DSPs. These guys are already integrated, but there's more DSPs being integrated now. So if, let's say, you use AdForm, which I bet a lot of you do, you can use AdForm. Even today, you can log in and you can buy advertising space programmatically from adQuota. When you do this, you have to remember that you take over the responsibility for the campaign. There's some good sides and some bad sides to programmatic. Generally, there's an understanding in the market that the prices will be lower. To be honest, that's not our experience. I think the prices are pretty much the same. We also offer pretty much the same inventory as we do for direct sales. But the big difference is when you talk to Mais, our Latvian country manager, and you buy 100,000 impressions from him, and he confirms that order, then it's up to us. We take the responsibility to make sure that we can deliver those 100,000 impressions as we said we would. We take the full responsibility for that, and we also take the full responsibility for optimizing that campaign while it's running. We have an optimization campaign team, 4 girls in Ukraine, who looks at the campaigns as they run, and they optimize it. However, when you buy through RTB, you take that responsibility. Not us. Because you may bid €2 for that advertising space, but someone may come by in 10 minutes, or in half an hour, or in a day from now, and bid 2.2 euros, and then they will get the space instead of you. So there's our upsides and bad sides to it. Since we launched it in May, these are the type of campaigns that we have run. Biggest is actually finance, but also fast-moving consumer goods is a big category. I think it's still growing very fast. Now, I've been through targeting, I've been through rich media, I've been through basically click rates and why it's engaging and why it's big and why you have to start thinking about mobile if you're not already. This is what we do for relevant and targeted advertising. Are there any publishers here today? No? Okay. Yeah, well, there's a few down there in the back. Okay. Advertising seen from a publisher perspective is also interesting to look at, and I'll just spend 2 minutes on publisher perspective. Seen from a publisher perspective, most publishers, I'd say, comes out of a print world, where you look at a newspaper and you've got 50 ads in the newspaper, you've got 2,000 classified ads, and there's a lot of money coming in there. Print circulation is falling. It's not, it's across the world, across all media, print circulation is falling, and advertising revenue is falling fast. So every publisher in the world have a website and try to move their business over digital. The problem now is that digital traffic is stagnant and mobile is still growing fast. The biggest newspapers in Denmark and Sweden and Norway now have more than 55% of all impressions on mobile devices. So mobile is coming, and it's coming so fast. Now the problem with that is, of course, on a desktop website you may have 15 ads on the first page of a desktop website. On the mobile side you have 3, 2, 3, 4 ads. So seen from a publisher perspective, this is not a good development. They are making less and less money, and we have to help them basically survive or make money on their publications. The way we do that is, well, this is basically what every publisher in the world wants. They all want high CPMs. They all want high fill rates, and they all want the revenue to be optimized somehow. Interesting thing is, when I look at publishers across the 10 countries that we are in, there's like 4 or 5% of them who have 100% fill rate every month. And it's the same publishers every single month who have the highest fill rates. The rest of them have somewhere between 20 and 60% fill rates. Or put it differently, between 70 and 30% of all their advertising space is left unused. It's money out the window. And that's no good. So somehow we need to help them get the fill rates up. All publishers also want smooth processes, and they want the right customers. We have customers coming to us and say, hey, we don't want betting, we don't want political messages, and we certainly don't want porn on our website, and that's fine. I understand that. But we all want Coca-Cola and Google and Microsoft as an advertiser. And publishers also want to be in control. Does that correspond with your experience? Good, thank you. So how can we help you with that? Well, what we're launching now is what we call a yield management engine. A yield management thing is not new. It's existed in desktop web for a number of years, but it's a tool where you can take different revenue streams and you can adjust some settings in it and thereby optimize what comes out. The ultimate result of this should be that you have a 100% fill rate. From this yield management tool, you can do your own sales. We can do the sales for you. We can have programmatic sale. You can have self-service tools, ad exchanges, and backfilling. And you can use this to optimize it. It's a tool that we are launching right now, and it will go launch big time in Q1. And I think this is what the publishers need to make the most money on mobile advertising in general. This slide shows all the different settings you have in the yield management tool, but I'm not going to get into that right now. So let me summarize. because you have to have some takeaways from this. Mobile is where your clients are. Mobile is growing so fast. Advertising budgets will grow fast. If they are not yet, they will do. Get there, but make sure you do it in a mobile optimized way. Use media. Use rich media instead of the traditional media you have. There's a tendency to use. Rich media will give you so much higher engagement rates, so much higher click rates. Think mobile when you launch a campaign. The campaigns where mobile is sought into from the beginning performs a lot better than the campaigns you do where mobile is, we have a little bit of left on the budget, so let's do some mobile too. No good. Use all the different call to actions because there's a lot of opportunities in there. Optimize using frequency control, using technical targeting opportunities, and measure everything. Have a think about, will geo-targeting work for me? Do I have branches or different, are my customers in a geographical area? Then geo-targeting is cool for me. Retargeting also, and audience targeting comes in later. Try buying direct. Go into AdForm right now if you use AdForm, and you can place some bets on our inventory. And finally, count everything. Count everything, document everything. That's the most important thing for you, I think. And good luck with that.
Thank you very much. We have time for 1 or 2 minutes for questions. Okay. So fast. Geo-targeting, when?
Now.
So, but you said that it's not available.
No, audience targeting is not available. Geo-targeting is available now.
Okay, very good. What about, you talk about web, mobile in web pages. Yeah. What about applications?
Well, everything we do both in desktop web and in applications. Everything like geo-targeting and store locators, that sort of thing, can also be done in apps. The only limit there is that not all rich media formats are available within ads. But that's a sort of technical thing because it won't run in an app.
So if you would have to say like websites and
applications,
where is the market? Where is it bigger?
Where's most traffic?
Okay, traffic, money.
Traffic and money. Right now, somewhere between probably 75% of everything we do mobile web. Okay. But that's because most of the publishers we work with are web publishers. We also work with different apps, but a lot of the inventory you get in apps, for example, games that have tremendous traffic, they perform very poorly with advertising because when you play a game, you really don't want the ad. So we tend to be very careful when we sign up apps.
Performance.
Yeah. Performance, definitely. It's better for performance because maybe you get 1 million impressions, but you only pay for the few clicks that performs. Yeah.
Okay. Well, thank you very much.
Thank you
for your presentation. And